This was made with no camera, no crew, no budget, just a sentence. Seedance 2.5 just crossed the line that Hollywood thought would never be crossed, and the output is so good that Disney, Netflix, and Warner Bros. Have all sent legal letters to ByteDance in the last 4 months trying to shut it down. It hasn't worked. Here's what this model actually does, why one feature inside it has never existed in any AI tool before, and why the studios are running out of options. So let's start with the context that nobody else is giving you. June 23, 2026, ByteDance holds their Volcano Engine Force conference in Beijing, and in one presentation, they announce 4 separate AI models. Dubao 2.1 Pro, their large language model gunning directly at Claude and GPT 4.0. Seedream 5.0 Pro, an image generation model aimed at Midjourney and Flux. Seed Audio 1.0, a full audio generation model competing with 11 Labs and Suno, and Seedance 2.5, the video model. Text, image, audio, video, the entire creative stack in one day, from one company. That is the actual story here. Every other coverage you've seen is treating Seedance 2.5 like a standalone product drop. It isn't. It's one weapon in a full arsenal. Now, Seedance isn't new. Version 2.0 launched earlier this year and immediately became the #1 ranked AI video model on the planet, sitting at ELO 1269 on artificial analysis, beating Google's VO 3.1, Runway Gen 4.5, and OpenAI's Sora 2.0 all at once. And then ByteDance skipped versions 2.1 through 2.4 entirely, jumping straight to 2.5. That's not laziness in naming. That's a signal. The headline upgrade is the clip length, and I want to explain why this actually matters rather than just saying 30 seconds, wow. Every AI video model right now, VO 3.1, Kling 3.0, everything, caps out between 8 and 20 seconds per generation. So if you need anything longer, you generate multiple clips and stitch them together. And the moment you do that, you introduce what creators call character drift. The face shifts slightly, the lighting changes, the motion style breaks. It looks AI-made because it was AI-made in disconnected chunks. Seedance 2.5 generates 30 seconds in a single continuous pass, no stitching, no drift. For advertising and short film work, 30 seconds is a standard production unit. The fact that you can now generate it unbroken changes the entire workflow. The second upgrade is the reference system. Most models let you feed in 1, maybe 2 reference images. Seedance 2.5 accepts up to 50 images, video clips, audio files, all in one generation. At the actual live demo at the Force conference, they fed the model over 10 character reference images simultaneously and let it autonomously handle the casting, positioning, and choreography on its own. No manual direction. That's not a prompt tool anymore. That's a casting director and a cinematographer collapsed into a single generation pass. And then there's the 20% better prompt adherence stat that nobody's talking about. Seedance 2.5 follows your instructions 20% more accurately than 2.0 did. That might sound like a small number, but in a high-volume workflow, if you're a production team running hundreds of generations a week, that compounds into a massive reduction in wasted credits, wasted time, and failed outputs. It's the least glamorous upgrade and probably the most practically valuable one for professionals. Now, here's the thing I haven't seen a single other video talk about. At the Force conference, ByteDance demonstrated something they're calling 3D white box pre-visualization. What that means is this. Before you commit to a full generation, you can feed Seedance 2.5 an untextured 3D mesh, a rough blockout, a wireframe. At the demo, they fed it a spaceship model with nearly 100,000 polygons, completely untextured, just raw geometry, and the model took that mesh, understood the spatial layout, understood where the camera was, understood the composition, and rendered it into a fully textured, fully cinematic video output. Think about what that means for filmmakers. Pre-visualization is an entire department in a Hollywood production. It's the process of blocking out shots in rough 3D before you ever put a camera on set, figuring out where actors stand, how the camera moves, what the lighting setup needs to be. Studios pay entire teams to do this for months. Seedance 2.5 just turned it into a prompt. You block your scene in 3D, hand it to the model, and get a cinematic rendered output back. This is the feature that makes Seedance 2.5 genuinely relevant to actual filmmakers, not just content creators, and barely anyone is talking about it. Here's the other angle that's being completely ignored. ByteDance didn't just position Seedance 2.5 as a creative tool. They explicitly said at the conference that this model can synthesize training data for autonomous driving companies. Rare road scenarios, extreme weather conditions, dangerous edge cases, the kind of footage that's either impossible or genuinely dangerous to capture in the real world. Autonomous driving companies currently spend hundreds of millions of dollars trying to collect footage of unusual road situations. A car hydroplaning at 3 a.m. in a blizzard, a pedestrian crossing in fog, a vehicle spinning out on black ice. You cannot ethically or cheaply manufacture those scenarios in real life. Seedance 2.5 can generate them from a text prompt, and it can do it in multiple languages for global markets simultaneously, one generation localized for every territory. That's not a content creator use case, that's industrial infrastructure. ByteDance is positioning this model as a data engine, not just a video generator, and that reframes the entire conversation about what this technology actually is. Now, back to the studios. When Seedance 2.0 launched, every major Hollywood studio sent cease and desist letters to ByteDance. Disney called it a virtual smash and grab of their IP. The MPA, the Motion Picture Association, sent what was historically the first cease and desist ever issued by a major industry body to an AI company. And every video you've seen covers this like it's a crisis for ByteDance. Here's what none of them mention. ByteDance is a Chinese company. Serving valid legal process on a Chinese entity under the Hague Convention, the international treaty that governs cross-border legal notices, takes an estimated 18 to 24 months minimum before any court proceeding can even begin. By the time a single lawsuit reaches a courtroom, Seedance 3.0 will already exist. ByteDance's legal team knows this. The letters from Disney and Netflix are real pressure, but they are not the emergency they're being framed as. At the Force conference, ByteDance also announced a new AI copyright commercialization platform with filmmaker Stephen Chow as a partner, which looks like a gesture towards legitimacy. Whether it actually addresses what the studios want is a different question entirely. Here's what I actually want you to take away from this. The AI video conversation has been stuck on the wrong question for 2 years. Everyone keeps asking, can it look real? That question is done. Seedance 2.0 already answered it. The questions that matter now are completely different ones. Can it do pre-production? Can it generate industrial data? Can it replace an entire creative workflow from concept to finished video? And can the Western legal system actually keep pace with a company operating from Beijing on an 18-month delay? Those are the questions that Seedance 2.5 is raising, and the answers to all of them are pointing in the same direction.